Yo, 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 welcome to Feeze with the Fuss, and I'm Feeze. We finna get into part two of premiere with Feeze with the Fuss.
So, Fees, whenever you last episode we talked about you having a stroke. How was that? How did you have a stroke at the early age?
I got diagnosed with high blood pressure at 18, and I was so young I didn't know how to get a doctor, so I just went on about my life. I lived a perfect normal life for 14 years. Then one day I went to the casino and I was celebrating winning a bet. Even though I didn't win a lot of money, I was excited that I won a bet. And when I celebrated, I guess I stroked out.
So, how long was you in the hospital?
I believe I was there for 4 months.
Wow, dang, that had to have been hard. What was that like?
It was horrible. While I was in there, I started thinking that the people who built the hospitals has to be the same people who built the jails. I mean, I never been to jail, so I can only imagine, but it was awful, honestly.
Why you feel like they built the jails because you was still in there, or
I was stuck in there. I couldn't do what I wanted to do. I couldn't leave. I was on their time. I got to eat when they say eat, shower when they say shower, take medicine when they say take medicine. I'm on their schedule. I didn't have no control over my life, it seemed like.
mm, how was your relationships with people
The people in the hospital,
from your world
once I
while you were there?
from what I can remember, I believe it was pretty normal. I mean, some people came to see me, some didn't, but I don't really remember too much because I guess I was down bad. But there was a lot of people who came to see me, a lot of people who was calling me.
Yeah, that's what's up. I know. I remember we had a notebook of every time somebody came, or some cards, a whole bunch of cards. Every time somebody came, they wrote in a notebook, wrote you a letter, wrote you a note, wrote in the cards, even all your nurses and stuff. We still got all that stuff from whenever they did.
I'm pretty sure I'll give you people a glimpse of that later on in another episode. So just stay tuned for more things to come.
So with the stroke, how was did you do therapy and stuff afterwards?
Yeah, I did therapy at the hospital, and when I got out the hospital, I continued to do therapy in Missouri and Illinois. Both places told me they took me as far as they can take me.
So how did that feel?
Um, Honestly, I mean, I didn't know too much about physical therapy, but I honestly agreed with them. I mean, they weren't doing them saying lift your leg 10 times, take 5 steps this way. And I ultimately felt like it was a waste going there. If I got to spend gas money that I don't have to go to a place that I can do the same stuff at home.
Do you feel were you able to see any of the videos from when you first started?
Yeah,
Do you feel like you made an accomplishment of moving forward of how you were before?
yeah, I made a lot of progress.
That's what's up. What you was about to say? I ain't mean to cut you off.
I said, therapy does work, but one thing that I don't like is people think it's like a miracle drug type of thing. That's all people say. "Did you go to therapy? You go to therapy? You go to therapy?" I'm like, bro, therapy isn't nothing. It's like going to gym class. You do 10 sets of this and 10 sets of that. It's not nothing. They don't do anything, but you just, I mean, you do something, but it's not what people seem to think it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's like one of the things I hate the most. Did you do therapy? Yes, I did therapy in 2 different states. They both told me the same thing. We took you as far as we can take you. Only way things go back to normal is, in my opinion, is if I have brain surgery because I got nerve damage on my left side, the left side of my body.
That was my next question. What was all affected by your stroke?
As far as I can tell, my short term memory and my brain somehow can create. I can like create a memory in detail and not tell. I can't tell that it's not a real memory, and I can't use the left side of my body. I can't bend my left leg. I can move it, but I can't control it. If that makes sense.
Mm. So how do you cope with that every day?
I found something I'm passionate about. I don't really care about. I mean, I can't walk, but I can get around. I can't walk normal, but I can get around my walker. I can walk every single day. So honestly, it's not that bad as people may think it is, but it is what it is. I found something I'm passionate about in my downtime.
So keep striving.
Yeah,
That's definitely what's up. Was it certain people that you leaned on towards more than others, or was it something that kept you going, or what was some of the things that got you through those hard days?
I would have to say my kids and my fiance. Real short list, sweet and short, but that's what it is. Those are the people who's there with me every single day. Funny story. I believe my 4 year old daughter, actually both of them. So when I blacked out at when I stroked out at the casino, I recall, I believe I recall seeing flashes of my daughter's face while I was blacked out, and that's when I came to like, no, I can't go out like this. I got responsibility to take care of, and I got up off the ground eventually. Well, I woke up.
Mm.
So the first thing that I was flashing was my 4 year old daughter, but the second was definitely my 17-year old daughter.
Oh, so it definitely made you come back.
I believe so. That's the only thing traumatic about the situation. Like people may think it was nothing. I was fine one moment, but I knew things was wrong with me because I was standing at the edge of the crap table. I was shooting craps, and I couldn't stand straight. I was kind of swaying this way and then swaying this way, but I couldn't stop myself. So I'm like, God, what is going on? But I thought like I said, I've been normal for 14 years with high blood pressure. I'm just like, wow, I can't stand up straight. So I'm swaying like this and swaying like this. And then I threw a hard six. I probably won $86. But I wasn't excited about the money that I won. I was only excited that I won a bet. So I celebrated. I remember just like, yeah, with both hands. And then I kind of just stroked out. And on my way down, I put my hand up like this so I wouldn't hit my head on the crap table. Next thing I know, they was waking me up off the floor. So I guess they was doing a little, I don't know what it's called. I guess like I don't know the word. They was doing like checks to make sure I was okay. Hey, can you move your tongue this way? Can you move your tongue this way? Can you follow my finger? Do you know where you at? I'm like, yeah, I'm in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm at the I'm at the casino in St. Louis, Missouri. And they was like, do you know who the president is? I'm like, I can't think of his name, but it's a goofy ass white dude.
That's hilarious.
I guess they took the answer like, well,
Technically, it's true.
yeah, I didn't know his name. I'm like, I remember it wasn't Obama, but I couldn't think of who was in office. I'm like, all I know is it's some goofy ass white dude. So they helped me up off the floor. Um, after they helped me off the floor, I was the first thing I thought when I got off the floor is, ooh, my girlfriend finna be mad at me. I,
Well, why would you think she was going to be? I was going to be mad.
because I was just supposed to be going to the casino, like just for a random shooting some dice.
Oh yeah, you wasn't playing. You weren't supposed to be gone that long. I do remember that.
I think,
Ooh, when I walked in there, I was so hot. I was like, this man better
bro,
be
I'm
at the
like, I
table.
was terrified. I wasn't thinking nothing about my health. I didn't know I stroked out. I'm just like, whatever. I never had health issues with blacking out or anything like that, so I didn't know what happened. I just do for sure. I'm terrified to tell this girl that whatever happened, what is woman.
For a second there, I thought your phone was just dead. I was like, oh my gosh. How is he still in here? Dinner is done. You need to be heading home.
And I'm like, hey, if you don't mind, I'm finna run to the casino for like an hour or two.
Man, I remember those days.
Yep, they ambulance me to the hospital. I don't remember which one, but
It was slew. They was Oh my gosh, that hospital was on top of their stuff. So good. I
I mean,
went.
it's like, hey, do you mind if we cut this off? I'm like, man, do whatever you got to do. Just get me regular. I just want to get regular. So they actually cut one of my favorite outfits. Didn't you pull up outside the M&M's?
I didn't. Well, see, whenever I pulled up, you were already in your room. They wouldn't let us back there yet. You was
See how my
already
brain
there.
do? I vividly remember her pulling up on me while I was outside the M&M's.
Nope. I was. I actually went to the casino and was. I had went in. I seen the car outside. I went to the casino and I went inside and I was looking for you. I walked around. I walked around looking in the men's bathrooms, yelling your name. I was on fire.
Let me ask you a question. How long after when I got to the hospital did I tell you, hey, I got $500 I was winning in my wallet. They got it at the casino.
I don't even think I was there 5 minutes.
I'm like, hey, go get my bread.
And then I was like, okay, I'll take your wallet and stuff home. You was like, don't take my money out of there.
Hey, don't touch my bread. I work hard for that little money.
Oh man, I remember that. That's hilarious.
And I'm like, hey, the casino, they gonna play for it. They gonna get my bread. They had asked me while I was at the casino, like, hey, do you got a phone or something like this? I'm like, yeah, my wallet right there. And I got some money in my wallet because I was winning. So like I say, I wasn't really ecstatic about winning money. I was only winning like $500. I was losing that at that time. Every week I lose $500. So winning wouldn't mean nothing to me. I've been a gambler since I was 13. But I definitely was, hey, go get, they got my bread.
Yeah, that didn't. I don't even think I was in there 5 minutes. Was there so with your stroke and being in the hospital, was it any downs that you had to go through?
Yeah, I went through the worst of it. So my 4-year-old, it's like we had a one bond before I went to the hospital. When I got out, we had a completely different one.
Elaborate a little bit about that. Was
Um,
it like because I know she wasn't even two yet. I do remember that.
I don't know. To me, it kind of seemed like she wasn't really familiar with who I was anymore.
Because of how long it had been.
Yeah.
That's understandable. After a while though, she definitely and then plus it was she seen you differently because
Yeah.
you wasn't like
I remember.
how she was,
Yeah, I
and
remember one time I was in my wheelchair. She was looking like, "Why are you sitting in that?"
it was something new for her.
Yeah, well, luckily we got back to where we supposed to be at. Only thing is, I can't pick her up anymore. Well, I can pick her up on my right side, but I can't hold her like I normally would, and I hate that.
She almost too heavy now.
And if I could, I'd pick her up every day.
That's understandable though. She give you all the hugs and love though.
Yeah, that was. I think that was the worst part of it. If I can just have that bond and never change, I'd take that over. Have my left side work any day.
Mm. Any other relationships that you have to go through?
Um, yeah, it kind of seemed like all my well, not all of them, but most of my relationships seems to fade. It's like once I got out, it's like everybody treated me like I had the cooties. And I had to tell people, bro, I didn't change. I just had a stroke. Nothing about me is different. Once I realized I had my personality and my memories in the hospital, I'm like, I'm still me.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely was still you at the hospital acting a dang on fool. Oh my gosh.
Bro, I was a class clown. You cannot put me in an environment to where I'm supposed to be quiet and listen and do what I'm supposed to do. That is not gonna work for me.
Man, tell them about the story about the fighter pilot.
Yeah, so you know, you're in the hospital with whatever cable they have. So I guess one night I was watching what's that movie? Independence Day. And the next morning, I guess the doctor had asked me, I'm playing with him. Of course, I know that, but they don't know me. He like, do you know where he is? I'm like, yeah, I'm at fighter pilot school.
I had to keep explaining to them, like, don't pay him no mind. Do not pay
Bro, I
him no
thought that was
mind.
so funny.
They was like, I think something's going on with him. I was like, let me talk to him first. I was
You
like,
like,
no, it
hey,
is not.
that person you just told that is like a real high up in this hospital. You cannot play. They're like,
Man,
come
the
on, man, I'm
top
playing.
doctor in the hospital you was over there talking about. Like, she was over everybody. And you was telling her that. Oh my gosh. She was like, I'm not sure if he's joking.
And I was definitely saying it with a straight
A
face.
straight face. How could you do that? They would have
That is
been treating you
hilarious.
for something that wasn't nothing wrong with you.
Man, I was always messing with the doctors. I'm like, hey, y'all need to check his badge. You just walking through here
Let me see your badge. Who is you?
on everything. I'm a
How
patient in the
you was
hospital.
asking these people all these questions about let me see your badge. And you a patient.
Man, I'm in here kicking it, bro. I'm stuck here. Don't want to be in here. I don't know what's going on. Know what's going on after this. I'm finna have fun while I'm in here. Hey, I was telling all the nurses, hey, you might want to check his badge. Y'all don't know him. Y'all don't know how he got in here. He just here.
That's hilarious. Man, I would say that was one of the lighter moments during the hospital stays. Oh my gosh. That some of that like that those parts there make it you look back and laugh about it because it's just like why would you doing that.
Bro, I was completely clowning. I remember I was talking to the nurses. I'm like, hey, the nurse didn't do nothing wrong. She just talked to him. I'm like, hey, you can't talk to me like that. I ain't no regular person.
Oh my
We
gosh.
remember we had all those pictures where we went on our vacations.
Oh
I'm like,
yeah.
you see all these pictures? I've been to all those places, so you can't just talk to me. I ain't just no regular person. I just so happen to have a stroke.
You know what I mean here. But it was some really good nurses at the rehab hospital. The rehab hospital, some really good nurses,
I think my
therapists. They were some really good nurses and therapists there. They definitely played a vital part of
I definitely
getting
wouldn't
you
mind.
back to you.
I definitely wouldn't mind crossing paths with them again.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the one thing that my funniest moment in there was when we were celebrating my daughter. She's 4 now. We were celebrating her 2-year-old birthday. Her mom told her, "What you tell her? Throw that cake away and wash your hands." So I'm looking at her, I'm like, oh, she could do some bullshit. She walked right on me and smeared the cake in my face. I'm like, I knew she was gonna do that because that's something I would do. And that's what I knew. Yeah, she processed information just like I do. Like I ain't even mad at you for doing that because I understand why you did it.
That's the crazy part.
First off, you understood exactly what she said do, and you chose to do something completely different.
So on a lighter note, I know we talked about your stroke, we talked about your ups and downs. Was there anything else that you want to talk about, or any other relationships, family, friends, of like how you processed all of that stuff with them, or
I mean, honestly, since I could no longer walk, I couldn't really leave the house too much on my own or do anything. So I just found myself sitting there, deep in my thoughts, just kind of going through everything. And I just started noticing like some of this love that I've been receiving just not genuine. It's not you're not completely for me. Some people was, some people wasn't. But I don't hold no hard feelings about it. It is what it is. You live your life, I'm gonna live mine.
yeah,
But also, one of my friends told me he was telling me about his feelings, but he was telling them to me as if they was my other friend feeling. He was like, "Bro, what happened to you? It happened to you though, but you may have processed. We ain't used to seeing you like this."
yeah, I understand that. I remember you was telling me about it.
But I'm like, dude, ain't nothing wrong. I can't walk no more. That's it. I mean, I can use my left side, but aside from that, I'm still me. I got my thoughts. I got my memories. I process the information the same way I did. All you gotta do is talk to me. You're gonna see I'm the same person I always have been. I stand for what I stand for, and I don't go for what I don't go for.
Yeah,
But at the same time, if you ain't rock with me for whatever reason, okay, You stay on your side, I'm stay on mine. But at the end of the day, I promise you, I don't hold no malice in my heart for nobody. I have no problem with a person doing what's best for them, even if that's wrong in me. If you wrong in me is what's best for you, I'm completely fine with you doing that.
Mm.
I don't know why, but that's always how I've been.
It sounds like you accepting of their process. If that's what they need to process them, then hey, go ahead.
Yeah, if you, I mean, I'm gonna do what's best for me, so I couldn't expect you not to do what's best for you.
True, I understand that. What's tell us rather your top five most impactful people, and it
Oh
can be in
man,
regards to your stroke or your life in general,
yeah, I think
or
I'm gonna just go with life in general. The stroke, that was completely my fault. I was 18 and didn't know how to get a doctor. That wasn't nobody else's responsibility. Well, I do think it was somebody else. It was my responsibility, but somebody else could have helped me. I mean, I do have parents, but what was the question again? Top five most impactful people.
yep, in your life.
Yep, I'm gonna say my dad, my my big brother,
Which one?
Pierre. I guess I got quite a few big brothers, huh?
Yeah.
That's funny. Yep. My dad, my big brother. I think I'm gonna say my my female best friend. Is that three? Three for five?
Yep,
And my grandma who passed away. That's
that's four.
one
You got
more.
one more.
I'm gonna have to say I'm gonna pick one, but it's really about a tie. So I'm gonna say my 17-year-old daughter.
Mm.
People probably would expect me to say my fiance, but that's not how my brain works.
How do you handle death?
Um,
Do you agree that time heals all wounds, or
yeah, I do believe time heals all wounds, but I don't know. It's a part of. I was just having this conversation with somebody today. It's a part of the life cycle. I wouldn't want to live forever. Like that's kind of that's a part of life.
yeah, it's a part of life, but sometimes that stuff be hurting like hell to the
No, it definitely
core.
it definitely does, but I mean it's a. I just feel like it's a part of life,
Yeah, we all gotta go at some time, at some point.
and it's crazy. My first experience with death was the two people who I love more than anything on this earth. I think I was around 16, I believe.
Who was those two people?
Uh, my grandma, my dad's mom, my grandma on my dad's side, and my brother. My brother, my big brother, he went first.
With something like that, I know you said your big brother. How did that affect you, like as a kid? I know you said it was.
I believe I was too. When it happened, I didn't understand what death was. That was my first time experience. So I'm not gonna say it didn't impact me, but I don't know. I was so young.
Mm,
He died, and I think we went to the funeral. Whenever he died, I went to school the next day. I remember somebody saying, "What are you doing here?" Like, what do you mean? We got school. They was like, your brother just died, though. I'm like, yeah, he did, but I got school. He's dead and gone. Not to say it like that, but
right. You
I
didn't know
don't.
how to
What else am I
process it
supposed to
as a
do? I go to school
kid.
Monday through Friday. If he died on the weekend and it's Tuesday, I have to go to school.
Yeah, that's understandable. And death is tricky too. Like you'll be surprised. Sometimes you be having a good day, and then the next day it's just like it hits you like a ton of bricks.
It's crazy. For me, it hit me years later. Like years later. If he passed when I was 16, I think I didn't really get it all out of my system until I was old enough to go to clubs. So I was like 19 or 20.
Mm. What about your grandma? How did that impact you?
Oh, that crushed me.
Man, I can understand that.
So the crazy thing is I was when I was at my brother's funeral, and they played a song. They played a song that I knew, and for whatever reason, all my emotions came pouring out. Man, I just started bawling, and I went to my grandma. I went to my grandma, and she made me feel better. The second I touched her skin, I fell asleep like a baby. Next thing I know, she was struggling like, "Hey, the funeral was time to go." And I just woke up like, "Wow, where was I at?"
You was in your safe space.
Most definitely. But that's one thing I love about my mom the most. That's the most impactful memory that's my favorite memory of my mom. So I'm sitting in the road with my family members, and I got out. When I started crying, people was handing me tissues, and I went to go find my grandma because I had lived with her from I think 4 to 8. So I would call her mom and everything. And my mom understood that, she respected it. So when I got up, when I was crying, I stood up looking for my grandma. But I said I'm looking for my mom, and she was like, I walked right past my mom. My mom was like, "Come on, your grandma right there. That's where you going. That's what you need. She right there."
Mm.
So that's like the favorite memory I have of my mom ever. For you to understand what your son need, and it's not you, and you still help him get there, that's crazy.
That's strength, yeah. That's a different type of love for a child.
Yeah, that was nuts.
So, is your grandma who raised you?
Yep.
Okay. When you were smaller, when you
To
were
to my
young.
memory, yeah.
Oh,
I think I
okay.
went to live with her when I was 4, and I left when I was 8.
What is your best advice your mom ever gave you that you received?
My
Your
mom,
your mom or your grandma
I'm not really
or
aware.
anybody?
The best piece of advice I got, period, was let me see who gave it to me. It was my auntie. She told me and she told me, wow, everything happened in my life when I was 16. So I definitely was between 16 and 17. She used to tell me, like, everything that glisten ain't gold. I didn't get what she meant at the time, but later on in life, I that smacked me right in the face.
Mm.
I don't think I ever got a piece of advice that was more important or impactful than that. Yep, everything that glisten ain't gold. I was like, what? She was like, yeah, everything that glisten ain't gold. I had no idea what she meant. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Look, now I want to ask you which one of your aunts was the one on your dad's side
No, it
or
was
your mom?
technically my mom's side.
Oh, okay.
My aunt who lived in Indianapolis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do you feel you have daddy issues?
Yeah. I don't anytime I don't know how to explain it. I'd rather, like, me and you, I'm dating you. As you can tell, I respect your dad or whatever, but I have a better relationship with your mom.
Mm.
But I completely respect your dad. I love him to death. But I just naturally get along with women better. And that's probably because of what happened with me and my dad.
Mm. How is your relationship with your dad now since you got older?
I would say it's good, but it's other people probably wouldn't understand it. I call him every day to argue with him.
But by the end of the call, y'all still all right. I'm talking to you later.
It's definitely all love. I'm surprised he ain't blocked me yet. He told me, like, bro, you don't got to call me every day just to argue.